Lewis, would it be ethical to choose the smartest embryo in pregnancy? This is a story that relates to the 50 to 80% of what determines IQ being inherited. QZ.com has an interesting story about this. There's a Shenzhen, China-based company called BGI that has a cognitive genomics division, which is mapping the genes of math geniuses. And researchers are going to compare those genes against a sample from the general population, with the goal being to isolate the genes that turn people into that at least identify the people that are really, really smart. In theory, this could be used to predict the intelligence of an embryo. Now, BGI's CG unit isn't doing genetic testing of human embryos or in vitro fertilization, but other divisions of the same company do that. And if CG's research bears fruit and says, hey, we can identify the embryos that are going to be really smart, they could let parents pick the smartest embryo to give birth to. What do you think about this, Lewis? Would it be ethical to do that?
Well, that's tough because we're talking about China here, a country where you're only allowed to have one child. So I can see how that would be very appealing to parents who only have one shot. But uh, I don't know. I mean,
In some way, the US is kind of dabbling with this technology. There's a private lab in New Jersey which allows couples to screen for embryos, for genetic diseases before implantation, according to Slate. This could happen with brain disorders, and it's only logical to think that the extension would be that you could also just pick smart embryos. Factually speaking, if you look at IQ versus probability of going to jail, the smarter you are, the less likely you are to ever be in jail, the less likely you are to ever be on welfare, and the less likely you are to have illegitimate children. So there could be a factual social argument to be made that selecting smarter embryos would be positive for society. Different question from whether there would be any negative effects, and different question from the ethics of it. I really want to hear from the audience on this.
yeah, I'm curious to know what the audience thinks. And once again, this brings up one of my favorite movies, Gattaca. Gotta watch that.
Gotta watch it. All right, let's take a break. Anti-gay Dr. Michael Brown is next. Please join our membership program and support the work we do, an alternative to corporate media. Go to davidpakman.com/membership. You could be a member before the anti-gay interview even starts in mere minutes.